That's interesting. Brother Bilal Ishtiaq asks us and says, while calculating zakat, should we deduct our monthly expenses? If yes, then for how many months?
Sir, you will reply.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Those expenses which are already due on the date of zakat, these expenses will be deducted, and the expenses which you are expecting after the date of zakat. For example, today it is your zakat date, and you expect that this and these expenses will occur after this date, tomorrow or 1 week later or 2 weeks later. Those expenses will not be deducted. Allahu Alam.
So, Mufti Asab, with regards to long-term debts and short-term debts, right? So, long-term debts are anything that is longer than 12 months a period. Is that true?
Sure. It depends on the type of zakat, the type of debt that's also there.
Correct.
Some are loans, some are personal loans. So if it's a commercial loan, for example, someone buys a house, then that debt is there for 30 years. That would definitely be considered a long term, and you would only deduct the amount that's payable within 1 year.
Correct.
But if you have a loan that's not within 12, it's not 30 years long, but let's say I take a loan from you for $20,000. I can deduct that entire amount. It's a personal loan, and I should be paying that back to you as soon as possible.
Correct.
So differentiate between a commercial loan and a personal loan.
Right. So if I go back to the question a bit, Mufti Umar Sahib, you were saying something?
I would like to ask a question from Mufti Mahasa. Mufti, if, for example, suppose today is your zakat date, and you have taken mortgage finance, and your one installment is due, so you will deduct that only one installment, or the next 11th or 12th installment you are going to pay during the next year?
This month and the next 11 months.
Right.
However, some scholars are of the opinion that it should be only 1 month.
Right. So anything that is so for example, Mutsab, going back to Brother Bilal's question is, while calculating zakat, should we deduct our monthly expenses? If yes, then for how many months? So, for example, in particular case that you have to pay your taxes 6 months down the line, right? You have to pay your taxes in August. And it's going to be due upon you, but you haven't lived in that house till the August itself. But because it's due within the 6-month period, it would be allowed for me to deduct that as a liability.
No. That's not a debt yet. That's not a liability yet.
Okay.
When we say 12 months, that's when you already have a debt on your shoulder. So there's a difference between a debt and an expense or an upcoming payment. So a debt is where you borrow money. A upcoming payment it could be for anything else. So for an upcoming payment, you wouldn't deduct it unless it's already due on you.
Sure.
And for expenses in general, only that which is immediately payable, that would be deducted. Anything else would not be deducted. So if you have installments for example, car insurance that we have to pay. So if we have an installment for after 6 months, 7 months, that would not be deducted.
Got it. So, for example, in a car payment, you would only deduct that particular amount that is due.
Correct.
All right. And then anything which is a payment, but of course, payment is different from the debts itself. Mufti, what about like student loan, right? As a question, student loan is something that you have already taken the service of. You have a $50,000 loan. You are paying back $500 a month. And now, inshallah, in this year, you're going to pay $500 a month for the next 12 months. That's $6,000. Can I deduct those $6,000 that I'm definitely going to pay off this next 12 months from my loan? Or can I only deduct that which is due this month?
A student loan is normally considered to be a longer debt, which extends for multiple years. So you can deduct up to 12 months, so $6,000 as you mentioned.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, because that's something that I wanted to make sure that our brothers and sisters know, that especially if you're a student and you're paying, or you're not a student but you're paying off student loans, the amount that you're going to be paying off every month for the next 12 months, and you're sure that you're going to be paying off for the next 12 months, could be deducted, inshallah. Okay, guys, we got